All right. Well, we're back for episode 4 of
We're back.
Horsefluencer. Here we are again.
Here we are.
And today we're doing sort of an extension of the AI theme because I think when we originally did the AI theme, we were talking more on like a macro basis of AI and the industry, and the feedback that we got was tools. We want
Yes.
to go down into the tools and the resources. So we're back on the AI topic for this, and we'll be specifically talking about like different, I don't know, let's just say hacks or like things
Yeah.
like that within some of the tools that we use on a daily basis. ChatGPT obviously being one of those. Um, Opus Clips, things like it, CapCut, and that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to center this around.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think probably a good place to start is CapCut,
Mhm.
because it's something that's like such a cornerstone of like every creator's life. So Devin, do you want to get started on your CapCut things?
Yeah, absolutely. And Lana talked a little bit about CapCut too and like how she uses it. And when I heard that she, like the professional graphics designer, likes CapCut, I felt very validated. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
we're on the right path. And
they're just like us.
they're just stars. They're just like us. Oh, we love you, Lana. It was awesome. And so I was thinking about like, okay, what's kind of trending on CapCut right now? That's really cool. And the one that I wanted to talk about really is the narrator trend. I have a few drafts in the making. I haven't published any of them. Not, I'm going to drop them into trial reels because it's not my normal content, and I want to see how it's going to resonate. I'm going to put them on TikTok. I'm going to put them on trial reels, and then we'll see if they'll go on like the main feed for Instagram. But if you haven't seen this, it's the narrator trend where it's like an AI generated narrator voice. And I think he's British. It's very fancy. I don't know if you can change the voice or not. I haven't played around with that. But there's templates you can just use. Like, you know, in CapCut, you just go find your template. So you can just find your narrator voice template, drop in your own videos. And it's like a day in the life is perfect for this trend right now because it'll open on like this. I'm not going to do the voice because I don't want to mock anybody that's British. I'm sorry, but like on accident. It opens with this voice that's like, "This is Devin. She is very tired because," and then you can fill in your own text or whatever. Or this is Devin. Like she's starting her day off with a horse that just threw a shoe. However you want to do this, it's going to be great for vlogs, especially equestrian vlogs. I feel like,
Mhm.
um, because you can do a million different, B-roll clips just pulled straight from your phone, drop them in there, or you could have your one long video that you film from your, like, reuse your vlog that you've already filmed, drop it in there, and then CapCut will chop it up for you. Anyway, check that out. The narrator trend that's going on right now. There's a ton of templates in there.
Let
I
me ask
like,
you a question on that one before you
yeah.
move on. So you're uploading the video, and basically CapCut AI is assigning the narration to the video that you upload, but you have the ability to edit it, right? So it is trying to narrate it on its own, what you're doing in the video?
So it's going to follow the template that is already in there. So you can find like a preloaded template that kind of fits with your vibe. Um, there's a lot that are very specific templates to somebody else, like their business model or whatever it might be. But you can adjust any captions. You can just add your text and then it's going to read your text. So you can 100% curate it to your content. I haven't found one yet that is on CapCut specifically that's going to like watch the video and then narrate it. There are other tools that do that, like Descript, which is what I use for the
It's script,
podcast,
yeah.
but I have the paid version. So, like, I'm all in on Descript. I use Descript for a lot of stuff, and Descript will pull highlights and from videos and like narrate it for you, but that is the paid version. But that's a really good question with CapCut. Yeah, you're still entering your text, and it's not as intuitive, I think, yet, where it's watching the video for you and then narrating.
Okay, cool. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, good question though, and it's just fun. I don't know. They're blowing up on TikTok right now, and we all know Instagram's a little later to follow trends. So I think if you get ahead of the curve on this one, you'll be ahead of the curve on Instagram.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I think it's a great trend to, yeah, just make fun of yourself and, like
right.
make yourself that relatable, again, human person.
100%. And I feel like it fits for, yeah, any vibe. Like the funny stuff, it fits for the barn vlogs, it fits for like the day in the life. You could do it for like Lana makes the funniest videos of moose, day in the life of moose, and it's like there, you could do that for that, like narrating for your horse, a day in the life of your horse. Yeah, opportunities are endless, and CapCut is just like such incredible tool. It's one of my go-tos for creating reels. I like the caption feature that chooses a font for you. So I'm because I get lost in TikTok editing sometimes where I'm like, I'm not a graphic designer, so I look at the different fonts and I'm like, what's going to be good here for the CapCut templates? The fonts get chosen, and whoever has designed them has already made sure they look nice. So that's pretty nice. I like that, and I like that you can trim your clips like very quickly, and
Mhm.
it is very intuitive in the clip choice. Like if you upload a longer video and have it chop it up for you, I feel like it's pretty intuitive there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super helpful. Yeah, that's a good tie-in 'cau I was gonna mention, like, Opus Clips, but, like, CapCut also for this, that I will use tools like that, and
Mhm,
I come from I do a lot of sales stuff, do a lot of sales, I do a lot of, like, client interfacing, I do a lot of education stuff, like, for the client side, like,
mhm,
that's like, when I create content, I'm B2B. Um so I will use those tools basically to take like a very long-winded thought and boil it down to just the top points that I should say from that very long-winded thought. And
mhm,
I was thinking that this does apply a lot to our influence group because obviously most of the content that we're creating is short form. So if you have like an idea that you want to get across basically or like a general just theme, you can just make a video of yourself talking into the camera, like saying it, and maybe go on for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then upload that video to either CapCut, like you said, or Opus Clips or something like that. And it will chop it down to like the top
mhm.
points, and in most cases, give you like 5 to 8 versions to choose from and it'll pull just what it thinks are like the hard hitting topics that you talked about. And then I wouldn't say like that's your reel, but from there you create your reel. That is like maybe it's a couple versions, of what it spit out of like your, top hitting things from that long-winded thought.
Yeah, I love Opus Clips. You introduced me to that, and that's what we use for like the podcast and
Mhm.
like what we'll use for these clips when we post them online. And again, it's very intuitive. I feel like the clips it pulls are awesome and super easy to edit. You can edit right in there, like delete a sentence and it's going to delete it from the video, add your logos like we do over the top, like an overlay whatever else you want over the video. It's, yeah, that's a great tool.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I like majority of what it automatically puts out on its own, I would say is pretty good. There is still like you do still need the human element of going
Yeah.
through it because like AI, doesn't have emotions. It can't feel anything. So there as a person, you need to like watch the content and
Yes.
in a lot of cases, like, tell it what to pull, be like, "This is what I think is the most relatable and hard hitting," but, yeah, definitely if you're just hitting a wall and you're like, "I want to pull out the most, um, like, triggering points from
Mhm.
this very long-winded thought that I have and give me 6 options," and then you watch each of those and go, "Oh, wow, okay, there's a point that I didn't really realize, so let me double down on that, I'll make a reel just on that one," and then maybe there's a couple options in there that you, like, kinda keep going on for, like, a series or something, but very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is like that's the hill I will continue to die on for AI is that it is such a good tool. You have to proof it. You have to add your voice to it. Like you can't just it's I feel like the AI content that hasn't had the human touch added to it is very obvious. So, yeah, such a good note to make sure you continue to add your voice to whatever AI tool you're using.
Yeah, it's not a people.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
She is great though. She's a girl's girl,
she
so I
is.
love
She's
AI.
she's very close, yeah, but
Yeah.
not quite there. Okay. What else in CapCut? Anything else in CapCut?
I just feel like go through the templates. Like it you can search I search trending in there a lot.
Mhm.
I search like if I'm looking for it just kind of depends on the vibe I'm going for. Action, the action reel templates are really, really good. Aesthetic, Western aesthetic. I mean, you can search for whatever you want. It's gonna pull up some weird stuff sometimes, but I really I just hammer the search feature, and I will actually use the search feature to kind of come up with ideas sometimes even, like the trending
That's a good one.
search, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I am using all these AI tools, not necessarily to, like, create my content, but t a lot of time to give me ideas, because like Lana was saying in the last episode, your creative muscle, you gotta keep flexing it, but sometimes it gets tired, and so search for inspiration, among all these things. So, yeah, just even the search feature for CapCut, I feel like is a very valuable tool in and of itself.
Yeah, I think that that's highly underutilized too,
Mhm.
is searching. And like you said, you're going as far to go into like Western trends,
Yep.
things just to pull like the stuff that fits your niche.
Yep, yeah, or just like horses. You just type
Yeah.
horses into the search and you're gonna get like some weird stuff that pops up where you're like, that's not the vibe I'm going for. Like
That's
AI
my
trained
horse.
horses are terrifying. They're all missing a leg or have extra legs. But I mean it's yeah, the search feature is pretty great in CapCut too. And just in general, I don't know, I feel like even with like the TikTok creator insights, which we haven't talked much about, but maybe that could be its own episode.
Yeah, I think analytics for sure, diving into
Mhm.
that and going into it because, yeah, there's not I mean, taking that, like, out, like, I have used, ChatGPT and, like, other tools to analyze analytics.
Mhm.
So that's definitely a way that you can, like, marry the 2. They're not doing a great job so far on plugging those tools into, like, the creator dashboards yet.
Yep.
TikTok will definitely do it first. Like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna get there first. They always get there first, and that was, I guess, like, maybe, like, a side tip, but, like, we have a lot of creators that are not TikTok creators,
Mhm.
but that have TikToks. Like, if you are not a TikTok creator, but you have a TikTok account, still use TikTok for your creator stuff. Like, use its editing, look at, like, the insights and stuff like that, because it's gonna help you advise your channel strategy for your main
Mhm.
channels, especially Instagram or YouTube Shorts. But yeah, I have sort of married those 2 of taking, like, a lot of analytics and put it in chat or Claude and be like, "All right, give me based off of this, like, what's your next move?"
Oh, yeah. And, like, to piggyback on that, I pit Chat and Claude against each other a lot. Like, I they don't know it. They don't know they're frenemies, but they are, and for me. Like, they're both working for me, and I'm like, "Hey, Chat said this. What do you think, though? Like, how would you tweak this? What would you do?"
Isn't he the worst?
Yeah, and Claude's like, "Ugh, stop
Ugh.
going back to him." And I'm like, "Well, I need both of your inputs." I do think that's important. Like it's interesting to get kind of a second opinion from another AI.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, because 'cause you'll get something a little bit different every
Yeah,
time.
you
Yeah.
do. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse.
No, never know. Yeah. All right, well, yeah, going into chat, um, so chat there's a lot of ways, obviously, to use ChatGPT as a creator. I did wanna talk about, like, some of the ways that I tailor ChatGPT to me, because I feel like
Mhm,
that's the best way to use it as a creator is to tailor it to yourself. Um, so for growing your account, um, and I'm gonna use that as probably the main goal for the context of this conversation, but you can take this and apply it to any goal, really. But
yeah.
most of the people listening to this are creators and want to grow their accounts. So I will do this in like the folders in ChatGPT. So you can create folders in there. I'm like a type A person. I'm very organized. That's just like how I run my life. I have a whole chat that's just like my goals. And I don't even remember what it's called, but it's something like that, like Anne's goals. And I know, so cringe.
Perfect.
Yeah. really well branded. But in that chat, I have told it like what I want to become. So as a creator, you can say, I want to have 100,000 followers on YouTube and be well known for being a adult amateur hunter rider that shows, I don't know, in like the A series. And I want people to feel like I have a lot of educational value. I want people to feel like I'm very relatable and whatever. I want an engagement rate of 7%. And that's my goal. And I want to end up there in December. Right. If you do that and you tell that to ChatGPT, it's going to tailor all of its little suggestions to that goal. So everything from there on forward, if you're like, I want some real ideas for this, it's going to tailor that to your big goal, and it's going to tailor it to that voice and to you hitting 100,000 followers. So that's like one of the big things that I, would recommend that people do for growing your account.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, there's so many ways to use chat, like, as a creator. I really like the folder idea because it has kind of learned my voice already. Sometimes it gets
Yeah.
sometimes she's a little over the top. She's like, "All right, let's get to it, you rootin' tootin' cowgirl," and I'm like, "Okay." Like, "Stop. You're trying too hard. You're
This
doing too
is
much, Jen."
me.
Yeah. But, like we were talking before, a way I've just started using it for paid, programs that
Mhm.
I feel like has been enlightening, and it's all stuff that it gives me a chance to look at things through such a different lens, like step out of my content creator lens and look at it from the brand's perspective or from the viewer's perspective or whatever it is, in Sprout, we have the amazing summary that comes with every paid spot, every proposal that like
Mhm.
sums up what the client is asking for, talking points, call to actions, video ideas, sometimes all the things. I've been like copying and pasting the summary into chat, putting in there like, this is the brand, this is the campaign, here's my channel, here's who I am, which she already knows who I am. And then like, here's my real idea, here's my concept, here's what I'm going to be doing. So I already have the concept, I already have the creative, here's the deliverables, and here's the summation from the client. Give me like the top three call to action talking points that I need to include. Give me the top three things that the client would like to see. Give me, like, how can I fit this into a trend that I'm trying to do? Whatever your question is, just using the summary that's in Sprout
Yeah.
to, either flex your creative muscle or come up with like your talking points that you really need or fit it into a series that you're already doing or whatever that looks like for you. I feel like has been a very cool way to utilize it for like paid spots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is so huge. I was actually just pulling up, like, one of my chats that I do this a lot with. So, I'm obviously, like, on the other side of like, on the brand side. But yeah, similar idea, similar vibe. Like, I will take basically the About Us page from, like, a client's website and go through the whole thing and then, like, pull that out. And one of the key things you can do as a creator, so in those very long summaries and like very long briefs that you get, hidden in there are usually like emotional selling points. This is something that the influence group focuses on a lot, is emotional selling points. And I know we talk about this a lot, and it's always in the briefs and it's always in the content. Um, but this is something that's like very, very helpful to keep building on with chat. So one of the things that you can do, let's say you upload the whole brief, the whole summary into there, you can take that a step further and say, like, give me 5 content ideas for this company with like brief
Mhm.
uploaded that trigger the top psychological like reasons behind purchasing. And
Mm.
that you can actually create that as like a separate thing. Like, what are I we can put them in, I don't know, maybe the show notes or in one of our next Instagram posts or something, like those top psychological triggers that we talk about a lot. But they're things like acceptance, like feeling accepted, or fear of missing out, or status and eliteness. Like there's these like psychological triggers, undertones that are behind our purchase behavior. So get like basically that list of those like psychological triggers and then tell chat like give me 5 content ideas for this brand that trigger the feeling of acceptance, and it will give you like some really good ideas that are
Yeah.
undertones that are tied to a product that you might not have really thought of, that like a product could trigger that psychological response.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's just like the ideas are amazing and you might not even use one of them,
Yeah.
but you might read through that list and be like, "Oh, that this, made me think of this, which made me think of this, and now I have this whole concept." And
Mhm.
so using it for like the psychology behind content creation, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right. And like you said, I mean, you can't like this the ideas that it gives you is not what you should actually create, right?
Right.
Because like you said, you need to take that's inspiration. Like you're using this as content inspiration. Um Again, it doesn't have emotions.
Yes.
AI doesn't have feelings. So you do need the human element on top of it, but it will give you a great direction of like, here's a good real idea. And then you basically take that, filter it through your own human experience and actually create the content.
That's just it. Like I'm such an old school girl in so many ways. Like I want paper copies of everything. I write everything. Like very, very rooted in doing things the old fashioned way, quote unquote. But I use AI and I think it's an important tool to take advantage of. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So like let's use it to make our lives a little easier and not it's not the soul of your content, like you're the soul of your content. You are the heartbeat of your content. You are what people are coming to see. But it can help you structure your content, which I know I need all the help I can get when it comes to like structuring things and organization and reminders and all of these things. So that's
Yeah.
what I use it for.
Yeah. I know we've talked about having it like look at your grid too.
Mhm.
Like that would be another good way to have it structure your content. So give it your Instagram feed, have it kind of look at your grid. Same thing with your TikTok. Um, have it see if it can identify a cadence for you. You might have a
Mhm.
cadence that you're not aware of, that's working really well for you or that's not working well for you,
Right.
right? Like and this is, as a creator, like inspiration strikes when it strikes. So you might be
Mhm.
posting like 3 carousel posts in a row and then like clustering your reels in a weird way and not even realizing it because you're just, creating what you feel like creating. But it does have like a very objective view, obviously. So give it your grid and then maybe give it another creator's grid that you really
Mhm.
like and say like, okay, what is their cadence and what is mine? Like when are they posting reels? When are they posting carousels? What is the engagement rate there? And how can I
Mhm.
structure my, posting cadence better to, emulate this other creator that I think is doing really well.
Yep, that's really good.
Yeah.
And just I think if you've used chat before and you've been like, or Claude or whatever LLM, and you've been like, "Oh, I'm underwhelmed." Like it's not that impressive to me. You might just not be using the right prompt because I think that's the other thing too
Mhm.
is the prompt that you're using is going to kind of determine your results. So, like you were saying, your prompt of like, "I want to be this. Here's this information. Here's this statistic. Here's this goal I'm trying to meet." You talk about like our tribe. I feel like even that can be beneficial when you're brainstorming or you're trying to come up with ideas or you're trying to organize your feed, like dropping in like here's who's watching, here's the demographics, here's like here's my people, here's who my people are, and here's who I am. Now tailor your recommendations around that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here's what they struggle with on a daily
Mhm.
basis. Because again, those are things that only as a people
Yeah.
they're doing things. Like I know that people who like, Devin, your account, you have a lot of followers in different buckets. I think that you have a lot of followers that like run big barns. You also have a lot of followers that are like, barn in my backyard. Then you have some
Yeah.
followers that are like on the show circuit. So you could do that for like different follower groups. And like, here are the main things that they struggle with. Here's what I see mostly in my comments. Now, layer on top of that those psychological triggers, knowing they struggle with this, give me the 5 content ideas that trigger this psychological response.
Mhm.
And now you've got really something that like hits each of those follower groups,
Yep.
or just the one follower group if you're just really focused on if you run a niche account, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. You do you.
You do you. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's really the majority of what I had. Any parting thoughts?
No, I think just you can I guess my concern when I started using some AI tools was like, I refuse to lose my authenticity. Like I refuse to not be genuine. I refuse to, like I'm never gonna let this take over my brand. And I haven't. Like I think you can definitely do both because that's what I was worried about. And so you just make the choice that you're just gonna remain authentic in you and be the heartbeat of your channel and just also like make your life a little easier. Yeah, like make your life a little easier. Check out these tools. It's fun to I don't know, I think it's fun to stay up to date with all of it. Like it's all
Oh
changing very,
yeah.
very quickly. But I feel like most of these are free, most of these are accessible, easy to learn, you don't have to have paid spots for everything and yeah, just dabble in it, especially like CapCut and Chat. I feel like if you got to pick two, go with those two.
Same. That would be my recommendation too. Yeah.
Yep.
It's both free or at least like freemium, you know.
Yes.
Chat's like biggest option is like $60 a month, but most people are on like $20 a month.
Mhm.
And yeah, definitely affordable. And yeah, I mean, for me, like my biggest takeaway from these tools, especially the ones that you're going to embed into your daily life, like ChatGPT, are like take the time to have it learn you and your goals, because it really should act as like an assistant, not
Mhm.
your overall, it's not leading the charge, you are, right? But like think of it as if you had a human assistant, like you would be interviewing that assistant to say like, do you align with me and like
Yes.
my who I am as a person, and these are my morals and the things I believe in, and here's the brand that I'm trying to grow and what I want it to be like. That's how you would hire a human. So hire chat in the same way. Like take the time to tell it those things, keep it in a folder that's like my goals, who I am. I want people to feel this way about me when they think of my social media account. I
Mhm.
want them to have this takeaway after watching some of my videos. I want them to think that I'm highly intelligent and but also transparent and humble, or I'm funny and relatable and just like them, like you can tell it those things, and then that investment will pay off because every single chat you have with it afterwards, it's going to be tailored to you, which makes it a little less cringy and a little more useful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see all of you guys next week on the next episode. Give us
Sure.
comments, send us messages about if you guys use this. And also, we'll probably do something in the Instagram about like asking your ideas so you can drop them and we can all share.
Perfect.